Hi there and welcome to this video where we're going to stretch out our legs and our hips and do some movements that can be good to work towards splits or just to relieve any tension that we may be holding in our lower region of our bodies. So if you are new here, hi, my name is Kirstie and it's lovely to meet you. I am a yoga teacher and love teaching people. So I also have a membership platform where I post lots of weekly videos for you alongside this YouTube channel where I post videos as well. So for this hip and leg stretch, we're going to start in child's pose. So get yourself towards the bottom of your mat. Now you can have knees touching or knees about mat width wide and have the big toes touching behind you. Reach those hands forward and let the forehead rest all the way down on the mat. Hands resting wherever they need to be. We're just going to focus in on our breath. So we're going to take about 5 deep breaths here today. Just allowing ourselves to center a little bit more, to allow us to arrive at the mat. Allow us to breathe nice and deeply. So child's pose is quite a comforting pose. So if it doesn't feel good, see if you can adjust it to feel a bit better. We're going to take a couple more breaths. Lovely, one more. And when you're ready, hands back down to the mat. Let's inhale, ripple all the way up towards our tabletop today. Let's spread those fingers nice and wide. Have them stacked underneath the shoulders and the knees under the hips. We're going to warm up the wrist just a little bit, rocking forwards and back. Keep breathing, moving through. And then maybe the fingertips turn towards the edges of the mat, swaying side to side, forwards, back, round in circles. Now with wrist stretches, at least with mine, I let you do whatever you fancy. So listen to your body. If you want to turn the fingertips towards the knees, go for it. Towards the top of the mat, towards the center, palms up, palms down. Play around. What does your wrist want? What do they need today? Maybe they want no weight to go into them at all, so sit back on the heels and just draw circles in hands and fists. Anything that feels good, maybe shake anything out that you need to. So we're going to warm up the wrists a little bit longer as we're going to be putting a bit of pressure on them in just a moment as we find our downward facing dog today. And then we'll move through a little bit of a sequence to open up the hips a bit and stretch through the legs a little bit. So when you're ready, coming all the way back to your nice neutral tabletop position, let's tuck the toes under behind us and then slowly send the tailbone nice and high, coming to our downward facing dog. Now you might want to keep a bend through the knees like so. The focus here is mainly on keeping a nice straight back rather than getting the heels to the mat. So if that means bending through the knees, bending through the legs, go for it. Maybe we want to walk out the legs for a few breaths here too. Breathing in, breathing out, just setting ourselves up for a little flow today. So we're going to be starting in down dog, like so, finding a little bit of balance and opening through the hips. So the first thing we're going to do is transfer the weight over towards the right foot and peel the left leg towards the sky, three-legged dog. From here, I'd like you to bend through that left knee, opening up the knee towards the ceiling, and that might mean that the left hip reaches up towards the ceiling too. Then I'd like you to slowly draw circles with the knee in any direction that feels good. Try not to think about this too much, just let the body move. But trying to draw circles with the foot, with the knee, whatever that means for you. And maybe draw it in the opposite direction too. Breathing in, breathing out. You can go as fast or as slow as you like. Just draw your circles. You're going to take 2 more breaths. One more. And when you're ready, come all the way to stillness. Send that left foot nice and high again and gently lower it all the way down. Take a moment to walk out the legs again. Maybe find stillness in your down dog before we explore the other side. Good. When you're ready, weight to the left foot, peeling the right foot to the sky. Bend through the knee, open up the knee towards the ceiling, opening up the right hip too. Begin drawing your circles when you're ready to. Whatever that means for you. Make sure we're still breathing. And make sure to send it in the opposite direction too. Testing your balance. Waking up the hips. Up the whole body as we're quite strong in this down dog right now, three-legged dog. Good, we're going to take 2 more breaths. And when you're ready, slowly send that right foot back high again. Exhale, lower down to the mat. Good, let's have a breather here, lowering the knees all the way back down to the ground, untuck the toes and send the bottom all the way back to the heels, back to child's pose. Allow those arms to have a break, maybe let them have a bit of movement here. If you need to stretch them out in any way, go for it. Just make sure we're still breathing. Beautiful. Okay, 2 more breaths. Breathing in, breathing out, and then we'll begin our flow. Okay, when you're ready, hands back down to the mat. Inhale, healing all the way up towards our tabletop. Tuck the toes under, up we come to downward dog. Breathe in and out. Okay, back to three-legged dog as we transfer the weight towards the right foot. Left leg to the sky. Bend through the knee and bring the foot to the outside of the left hand. Use your hand to wiggle it up if you need to. Now we should be in a bit of a lunge here, lowering the back knee down. As we inhale, I'd like you to rise up onto the fingertips if you can, finding a bit of height through the torso. Breathing in, breathing out. And then from here, maybe we take the left hand to the left thigh, left knee, and maybe the right hand lifts up off the mat. Slowly, we might reach the right hand to the sky, and maybe the left hand comes down to the ground next to us for support as we lean over towards the left side. Breathing in, breathing out. Make sure we're grounding down through the big toe on our left foot. 1 more breath. As we inhale, come back to center, lower the right hand down. Left hand reaches up and over as we lean to the right. Breathing in, breathing out. Good, okay, inhale all the way back to center. Hands back down to the mat. Now you can keep the left foot on the outside of the hand, or if you fancy walking it to center, you can do so. We're going to be rocking forwards and back with the torso, with the body, coming to half splits and runner's lunge. Now these ones are fab for doing the splits, for stretching out and preparing for the splits, because it helps to open up that part of our hips that needs to be awake and active, ready to stretch out. I mean, the clue's kind of in the name, half splits. So stretching out however feels good. Now you can find a few breaths in a particular pose if you fancy. You can keep walking yourself back to lower the bottom towards the heels. Just listen to what feels good. I'm going to take a couple more moments to explore. And then we'll move along to another stretch for you. Beautiful. Okay, as you next inhale, make your way towards the top of the mat, bending into that left knee once more. Okay, so you're welcome to just pause here and feel that stretch as we sink our hips down towards the ground. But if you want to introduce a bit of a quad stretch here, bend through the back knee, bringing the right foot towards your bottom, and either taking the right hand, scooping it behind, or the left hand coming to a bit of a twist here, to try and bring the foot towards your bottom. Now it's easier for balance if you reach the left arm round towards the right foot and keep the right hand or right fist on the ground. But if you want to sink a bit deeper, maybe stretch through the whole of the right side of your body, using the right hand here and maybe testing your balance as well. So a couple more breaths. Maybe trying both, maybe completely skipping this pose altogether. How are you feeling today? Beautiful. Okay, 1 more breath. And when you're ready, exhale, gently release that foot. Hand comes down onto the inside of your left foot. And wiggle that left foot out towards the edge of your mat a little bit more. We want to create a diagonal shape as we come towards our lizard pose here. So the toes point towards the corner of the mat and the knee is stacked over the second or third toe here. So you can rest here, just allowing the hips to sink down. We're already in lizard pose as is. But if you want to come into a deeper version, you can either lower down onto the forearms or tuck the back toes under, lifting the knee up off the ground. You're also welcome to combine the 2 options together. So you can lower down onto the forearms and tuck the back knee under, or back toes under, lifting the knee up. So breathing in, breathing out. Any movements you need to find, any moments of stillness you can. We're going to hold here for a little bit longer. Good, okay, we're going to take 1 more breath. Okay, when you're ready, if that back knee is lifted, just gently lower it back down, coming back up onto the hands if you're on your forearms. Now we're going to step through to yogi squat from here. So the weight's going to go into that left foot as we swing the right foot towards the top of the mat. Use your hands for support here. So peeling the back knee up, tucking the back toes under to do so, and see if you can step forwards, coming to a yogi squat, toes pointing towards the outer edges of the mat or towards the corners, and hands to heart center in prayer, with the elbows hugging the inside of the knees. So we're helping ourselves to open up a little bit more through the hips, through the torso. Good, we're going to take one more breath. Nice, see if you can smile. And when you're ready, hands back down to the mat. We're going to keep the right foot where it is and step back with the left leg coming towards our lizard pose again. So making sure that the right knee and the right toes are pointing towards the right corner of the mat, and lower the back knee down if you need to. So adjusting the right foot as much as you need to get comfy here to really feel our lizard lunge. And breathe in, breathe out. Now, as before, on the other side, you're welcome to lower down onto the forearms. You're welcome to tuck the back toes under, and you're welcome to combine the two together. Any movements you need to find here, you are more than welcome to. So just breathing in, breathing out, and making sure it feels okay for you. Good, a couple more breaths. Lovely. Okay. When you're ready to lower the back knee down to the mat, if it's lifted, hands back to the ground to lift up through the torso. So coming to our little quad stretch here. If you fancy doing it again, you can bring the left foot towards your bottom now. If you want to just hold your lizard lunge, you're welcome to stay there. Now this time we can reach around with the right hand grabbing onto the left toes, or we can test our balance by either keeping the right hand on the mat, or trying to bring it towards our thigh, our knee, to help us balance. So just noticing what feels better for you and your body. Maybe trying out a few options. And just breathing in and breathing out. Good. Okay, we're going to take 2 more breaths. Lovely. Okay, next exhale, release the hand from the foot, lower the leg back down to the ground. We're going to slowly walk the right foot towards center. And we're going to rock through our half splits and runner's lunge, so rocking forwards and back through the torso. And you can keep a bit of a rounding through the spine if that feels good. Maybe the toes peel up to the sky. Or maybe we find a bit of height, seeing if we can find a bit of a straight back here. We might even find that the bottom wants to sink towards the heels as we lean back. So just exploring what your body wants from you. Breathing in, breathing out. Got a few more to go. Good. Beautiful. Now you might find you want to pause at a certain point, breathing in, breathing out, and just enjoying that stretch for what it is. You might want to keep finding movement, and that's fine. Good. Okay. We're going to take 2 more breaths. Okay, as you next inhale, bending into that front knee, placing the foot nice and flat. We're going to take the hands onto the inside of the right foot and gently walk it out towards the edge of our mat a little bit more. So from here, we're coming into just our normal lunge, holding here for a moment or 2. Maybe we even come up onto the fingertips, finding some height through the torso. Maybe we take the right hand to the right knee, and maybe we can even lift the left hand up off the ground. From here, we might reach that left hand towards the sky and gently place the right hand down by your hip on the ground as we lean over towards the right side, breathing in, breathing out. Make sure that that right foot's really planted down, especially the big toes, so we don't topple over. Good. One more breath. Okay, inhale, come all the way back to center. Left hand down to the ground, maybe lean over to the left side with the right arm now. Inhales and exhales. Good, one more. Inhale, all the way back up we come, hands back down to the mat. Taking the weight out of that right foot as we slide it towards the back, coming back to our tabletop pose. Toes touching, knees either together or apart as we exhale, push the bottom back towards the heels. Forehead rests down as we come back to our child's pose. Any movement you need to find to feel good here, please do. Breathing in and breathing out. So if you're like me, you might be feeling like those hips are incredibly open now. I've got a little bit of a tingling sensation going on, but in the best possible way. So just be aware of how you are feeling and what you can maybe do to make it feel better, if it needs to be. Otherwise, just enjoy it for what it is. Good, we've got a couple more movements to go. So when you're ready, inhale, gently walk yourself all the way up towards a kneeling position. Take the hands one way and swing the feet around the other way as we come gently onto our back. So sliding the bottom towards the center or top of the mat so you've got space to lie down. Gently walk yourself down onto your back and let's hug the knees in towards the chest. Drawing a few circles in each direction, breathing in and breathing out. Good. Okay. From here, we're going to lower that left foot down to the mat so the knee is still pointing up to the sky. We've got to bend through the knee. Then what we're going to do is send the right foot towards the sky, holding onto the back of the thigh, maybe interlacing the fingers and trying to draw the knee towards the chest. Or maybe lifting up to draw it towards the calf and allow the head to relax on the ground. If you can reach towards the foot, you're welcome to hold on to that, or if you have a strap that you'd like to use and wrap around the foot, you can do that as well. So what I'd like you to do, not only focusing on the stretch in the back of our leg here, in our right leg, I want you to really focus on grounding through the left leg so we can feel our back, our lower back especially, actively pushing into the ground. Breathing in, breathing out. We're going to take 2 more deep breaths. Feeling the whole body working here. If you're like me, you might be shaking a little bit, and that's okay. Good. Okay, 1 more breath. And as you exhale, release the hands, switch the feet over, right foot down, left leg comes up, grabbing onto the back of the thigh, onto the calf, the shin area, or trying to reach towards the foot. Now we're really grounding through our lower spine, really grounding through that right foot as well. And just holding whatever feels good for you to do. You can try out different places. And as before, if you have a strap, just wrap it around that left foot. Breathing in, breathing out, trying to keep the glutes, the bottom still on the floor. I'm wobbling, I don't know if that's coming through for you, but I'm shaking. So just embrace the shake as long as it feels good, feels productive. Nice. Okay, when you're ready, exhale, gently release the leg all the way down. We're going to come to figure 4 stretch, and then we have 1 left to do. So gently taking the right ankle, crossing it over the top of the left leg. I'd like you to thread the right hand through the middle of the gap between the legs and the left hand behind the back. Interlace the fingers, and as you exhale, bend through the elbows to hug the knees in towards your chest a little bit more. We're going to take about 5 deep breaths here, so enjoy it. Maybe close the eyes. If you need to find any movement at all, you're welcome to. For me, it's a nice reminder to myself. I always get to this position and remind myself to let those shoulders sink into the mat. It's hard to do when you're actively trying to squeeze those elbows towards you. If you're like me, the shoulders somehow try and pinch towards the ears, but just remind yourself to draw them back and down. Good. 1 more breath. And when you're ready, exhale, release those hands, allow the feet to fall to the ground, uncross the legs, take a moment to breathe before we go to the other side. When you're ready, left ankle over the top of the right knee. Left hand through the middle, right hand interlaced behind the back. And as you exhale, then through the elbows, drawing the knee in towards the chest. Now, if you take a moment to look, don't feel like you have to, but just notice where my shoulders have naturally gone to. I'm automatically squeezing. As you exhale next, if you're like me, allow those shoulders just to release to the mat. Breathe in, breathe out. Any wiggles you need to find, any sways, any movement, go for it. Just breathing in and breathing out. Lovely. We've got about 3 more deep breaths to go to balance it out. Beautiful. 1 more. And when you're ready, exhale, gently release the foot all the way back down, uncross the legs. And this time, take those legs nice and long. Now, you're welcome to pause it here, to leave it here and go to a Shavasana if you feel you need to. But if you want 1 final leg stretch today, we're going to start on the right leg. So keeping the left leg where it is. Now we'll come back to where to place the left hand, but for the time being, I'd like you to hug that right knee in towards your chest. Now you might stay here. You might come into a deeper version of this stretch by allowing the right foot to reach towards the ceiling and interlace the fingers behind the back of your leg. Now, if you want to keep both hands on the back of that right thigh, you're welcome to do so. But sometimes I like to remind myself to try and stay grounded through the left hip by placing the left hand on top of it. So you've got this almost hug sensation going on with that right leg, trying to bring it towards our torso. And then with the left hip, we're trying to glue it down towards the ground. So just breathing in, breathing out. Good, we're going to take one more breath. And as you exhale, gently release. Allow the leg to go nice and long and take a moment to breathe in and out. Okay, time for the other side. So hugging that left knee in, we can just pause here if this feels good. We might take the hands behind the back of the knee, interlacing the fingers and giving yourself a nice big hug. Or we might send that left foot towards the ceiling and maybe even take the right hand away as we try and find a deeper version of this stretch, but keeping our right hip glued to the mat as well as the left. Good. So it's like we've got this weird pulling sensation through the back of our leg and the inside of our thigh, as well as this sort of stretch feeling as we come to almost a diagonal stretch, with the hip opening up through completely different directions. So just notice how it feels for you. What is each part of your body doing here? One more breath. And as you exhale, gently release the leg all the way down, release the arms. And we're going to take 5 deep breaths with our eyes closed in our Shavasana position here. So palms either side of the hips, feet just gently turning towards the outer edges of your mat. Close the eyes or soften the gaze. And as we breathe in, we're really filling up the balloon in our bellies. And slowly breathe out either through the nose or through the mouth. And when you're ready to do it again, breathing in, filling up your balloon, and exhale, gently releasing. Good. One more. Good. And again for luck. Lovely. So when you're ready, slowly hugging the knees in towards the chest, taking a nice big inhale, squeezing nice and tight. And either rolling over to your right hand side with the eyes still closed, make your way up to a comfortable seated position, or take a few rocks to get yourself up to a place that feels good for you to rest in today. So the eyes are still closed, and when you get to your comfy position, hands to heart center in prayer. Take a moment to breathe in. And as you exhale, rub the hands together as if trying to start a fire. And when that fire is about to start and the hands are super warm, part them and place them over your closed eyelids. Allow the heat from the hands to warm up your eyes, slowly blinking them open. When they're open, part the fingertips, let more light through. And when they've adjusted to the light, exhale to heart center in prayer once more. Thank you so much for joining me for our legs and hip stretch today. Hopefully you enjoyed it. As always, eat well, drink well, and sleep well. Namaste.